I bring the meeting on December 10th of 2025 to order at 6:01. Please make sure you have checked in for roll call. Meeting practices and information. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that the board appreciates and supports stakeholder input at our meetings. However, it is important to note that a board meeting is not a meeting of the public, but it is a meeting to conduct the district's business in public. Everyone should have a chance to express their opinions respectfully within the guidelines the board has established for its meetings so that the board is able to conduct the meeting effectively and efficiently. During the meeting, there will be time for public comment on both agenda and non-agenda items. Public comment is only conducted in person. If you wish to speak, please submit a speaker comment card with our administrative assistant. Members of the public may observe the meeting via NUSD YouTube channel or in person at the Newark City Council chambers. Spanish translation is available when in person. Is there any public comment on closed session items? No, thank you. All right, we will recess to closed session. Thank you. Cindy to? Ready? Okay. All right, we are returning from closed session, and there are no items to report. All right, Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, our meeting guidelines. We will keep our focus on the best interests of our students. We will work towards that future, learning from the past. We will stay focused on our goals and avoid getting sidetracked. We will build upon the idea of others and look for common ground, and we will paraphrase for understanding. When we have a difference of opinion, we will debate the facts of the situation and avoid personal criticism. We will address processes, not persons. We will respect differences, and we will never dismiss or devalue others. Okay, we are to approve the agenda. Are there any items that anyone would like to have pulled? All right. Okay.
The first interim, page 11, has been updated, and we just want to make sure that you're aware of an amended presentation for first interim.
Okay, and that is on
Item number
12.1. Okay.
the first interim
Yeah, we got it on,
on Saturday,
we got it Saturday. Yeah.
but you are in luck.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the agenda with the amended, noting the amended budget for 12.1?
I will make a motion to approve the agenda with the aforementioned amendment.
Thank you. May I
I'll
have s-
second that.
Okay. And we'll take a vote. Jasleen is not here tonight, our student board member. All right, thank you. 6 ayes. Or 5 ayes. All right. 6.1, resolution 25.26.09, the HVAC update. Mr. Freitas, or DeFreitas?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I have a quick and short update on the emergency resolution. Based off of Friday, when we needed to post, as you guys saw, there was 18 thermostats installed over at Kennedy Elementary School. Since then, all thermostats have been installed at Kennedy Elementary School. Every single classroom has working HVAC. All for the exception of one particular unit at the library. When they went ahead and opened up the unit, they found that it's actually missing one of the motherboards for the actual unit for whatever reason. So we are getting quotes on that to get that replaced. We didn't let that hold us up. We jumped over to the middle school. As of about an hour ago, we have 20 thermostats inside the classrooms installed.
20 thermostats that are
Installed at the middle school.
already?
Yes.
And it's not on the chart?
Nope, because we posted this on the 5th, so we didn't have time to update since then. 20 was as of an hour ago, just because I was on the school site and was able to take a quick count.
Okay, and so I know that there was like 27, you had 18 and 27 on the chart, so does that mean all 27 are done now?
At Kennedy?
Yes.
Yes.
At Kennedy, oh, great, thank you so
Yep.
much.
Minus the
Minus the library.
thermostats are installed, but yes.
Okay,
Yep.
fabulous, thank you so
Yep.
much.
All right, thanks.
Great work, we love how quickly you're working through these. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to employee organizations, NTA. Oh, your shirt is so festive.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Bloom. I'm the president of the Newark Teachers Association. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also a great poet. I normally come up with a song and dance, an outfit, my whole speech prepared, but I don't have that ready this week because my mind has been plagued by this shape. Do you know what this shape is, Miss Allard? On Friday, we had a professional development, and Miss Allard had us all kind of line up or organize ourselves from most experienced teaching all the way down to beginning teacher. And so the people in the room made this shape, and we all shared how much teaching experience we had. I was in a group with elementary educators, 3rd through 5th grade. And most everyone, we did a very good horseshoe shape. And when you can see, we're all lined up like this, and about 1/3 of the people had between 0 and, let's say, 18 years of teaching experience. And then there's me, the circle with the X, at about 19 years. Then you have 20 to 30 and 30 plus years of teaching experience. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. However, when you actually looked at how we were, the folks down in the 30-year end were all squished together. And the part of the horseshoe at the beginning of their teaching career end had a lot of elbow room. And so this diagram, I have it on the back here for the people behind me, this diagram has been haunting me all weekend. And so I haven't been able to think about anything since. And so I haven't been able to prepare my speech. However, there's good news, because this morning I watched the Saturday board meeting. And so I know that this is a problem, but it also seems like you all know that this is a problem or going to become a problem. You understand that in addition to our yearly exodus, in the next 5 and 10 and 15 years, we are going to need to be making up for all the people that retire. So it's great that we have such experienced teachers. It's great, but this is going to become something that if we don't prepare for, will completely blow up in our faces in 5, 10, and 15 years. Now, after watching the school board meeting that you had on Saturday, I can say that I'm not as stressed out. I'm actually heartened because I heard a lot of great things. You understand that our current compensation is not going to get it done. You understand that not offering benefits, that's not going to get it done. And it seems that your long-term planning is also including wording such as, let's ask NTA what they think. Let's have people support the programs that we want to grow. If we want to have strong STEAM programs, let's have people in those positions to support those places and maintain those spaces. And so with the compensation that I know is now one of your goals as far as what we'll do with the properties and whatever happens with that, if we have that compensation and supports for students with respect to special educator and counselor caseloads, and if we have support for students with mental health issues and that need behavioral support so that they can show up to school and be ready to learn, the compensation and the support for students, we're going to be in a great place to give the students and our community the schools that they deserve. And NTA has never been in a greater position than it is now to help you with that. We've improved our infrastructure, our communication, and so we are poised, ready to help you and work with you all to get that input that you need from our newer members in order to get those next steps so that you can continue in your planning. And so I wanted to let you know, I really appreciate that meeting. I'm glad I wasn't here. It was a great thing to wake up to this morning to watch that. And NTA looks forward to working with you all. We will get you the people, whatever you need to kind of help developing those plans and seeing what kind of possible things we might be able to put together to get new people to come and new people to stay. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone from NUMA? and CSEA? Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to public comment. I have one public comment card from Ms. Riviera. This is on non-agenda items.
Hello, good evening. I'm more nervous than ever. I don't know why. But I'm here I emailed you guys already why I'm here today. As you see, I got some parents behind me to support me. Some of them, they wanted to come, but it's too cold. And yeah, I brought this, I emailed you guys regarding my proposal regarding to bringing the parents and the board together, because we have a little misunderstanding with the parents. They don't feel welcome, and they don't feel like they don't have the support with you guys, and so on and so on. And I came up with an idea, bringing this committee so we could work together. And the committee, the purpose of the committee is to get reports from the ELAC, all the groups that we have already from each school. And that report, I'm going to bring it to you guys on the meetings. And there's not going to be no other new decisions, no decision at all. Just bringing reports from that committee already to you guys, because apparently it's nothing. They say that they're telling the board, the DLAC or whoever, or their concerns, they're not heard. So hopefully, I will do a good job in bringing this and bringing us together, so we're all here for the students. So if we come together, work together, I think we would do a better job. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot one more thing.
Yeah.
Superintendent reached out to me, and we're gonna meet Tuesday to go forward more. We're gonna talk about it more, how we're gonna help them.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments at this time? Okay. All right. We're moving on to the annual organization of the Board of Education. As we move into 10.1, which is the election of officers for the president. Let me see, I gotta put my glasses on. So, I am officially opening up the nomination for president of the Board of Education. Do I have any motions for, oh, wait, am I doing this right?
Did you want me to take this part, or are you going to do it?
I thought you gave this to me, so I would do it. No, you can do it. That is just totally kosher with me. Go for it, Superintendent.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to do 10.1, which is the election of our officers, in particular the seat of president. And I would like to open up nominations for president of the Board of Education. Don't all jump up all at once.
I would like to nominate Vice President Thomas to take on this role. She has many years of experience serving this district, and I think she would be a great next president of the board.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
And Ms. Thomas, do you accept the nomination?
I accept that nomination. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations for the position of president?
Okay.
Seeing none, I close the nominations, and I would ask for your vote on 10.1.
Okay. All right. 10.1, tally the vote. 5 should pop up in 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations, President Thomas.
Thank you.
Great.
I'm going to turn the gavel back over to you. At the end of this portion of the organization meeting, there will be a quick 10-minute recess just so we can kind of reset and get some things ready to go. But at this time, I'll turn the gavel back over to you.
Now, in the past, we have maintained continuity with the vice president following this meeting through as leading the meeting and then the president takes over, president-elect takes over at the next meeting. Is that okay with everyone?
If I continue to do the whole meeting?
Yeah.
So Member Jones would continue for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah.
But are you going to do the nominations, or do you want me to continue doing the rest of the nominations?
Well, you can continue. You're doing a good job. Is that okay with the rest of the board?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, thank you. It's my honor to do so. At this time, I would like to open up nominations for Vice President and Clerk at the Board of Education.
I would like to nominate Austin Block to be vice president.
Is there a second for that nomination?
I second.
And do you accept the nomination, Member Block?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Great. Are there any further nominations for the office of Vice President and Clerk of the Board? Seeing none, I close the nominations, and with that, you may take your vote.
I'm going to be kept on my toes, huh? I think fast. It was 5 ayes. Did you catch it, or do I need to do it again?
I got it. I got that part.
Okay.
Congratulations, Austin.
Congratulations.
I suppose I should do the next one?
If you would like to continue.
All right. 10.3 is appointing the superintendent as secretary of the governing board. Do I have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion to appoint Superintendent Fakar as secretary of the board.
All right, I'll make a second. And a vote. I promise not to do it so quickly.
Do we have a second? Oh, you.
Yeah, I second. All right, tally the vote. There we go. Ayes. See if it'll flash up there. Yep, there it goes. Okay. What did I do? Setting the regular meeting dates for 2025, the rest of 2025 school year, and for the 26-27, first half of the 26-27 school year. These dates were all in our agenda. Does anyone need to have them all read out? I can open my computer.
I would recommend suspending with reading out the actual dates.
Okay, did everyone have a chance to see that, the dates? All right. There were a couple dates that were in there just as placeholders in case we needed them for superintendent search or any other reason, but we needed to block the time here at the City Hall in order to make sure that we had those available to us. Okay? All right, so may I have a motion to accept the dates?
I move that we accept the dates.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. And a vote. Thank you. Pop up here. All right, thank you. All right, setting the regular time of the meetings. I believe we set 6 to, did we go with 10 or 10:45? Ms. Fakar, do you remember, Superintendent? What's on there?
We would like to technically end by 10:45. So
Okay,
that we can be
10:45.
out of here by 11.
All right. May I have a motion?
Could I
Go ahead.
interject? If we keep it at 10:30, that is where our policy is right now. And then we may have to extend it for 15 minutes if we need the more time, but I would recommend that we not have to reapprove our policy to change it to 10:45 and keep it at 10:30.
Okay. All right. 6 to 10. Okay, so with amending the time, to 10:30 from 10:45. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to set the regular meeting times from 6 o'clock to 10:30.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. And a vote. I have five pop up in a minute. All right. there- Appointment to 2 Board of Education representatives to the Audit Committee for a 2-year term.
May I make a comment?
Yes.
The bylaws for the audit committee do not allow the president to be part of the bylaw committee, and, the
Part of the
audit committee. And since I am on the committee now, we would need to replace me if the idea was that we would continue with Member Aguiano and myself.
Okay. So we will need to have, Member Aguiano, would you like to stay on this committee at this time for a second year, or? Continuity is always good, I hate to mention. It's a little plug.
I would like to continue being a part of the audit committee.
Okay. And is there someone else who would like to?
Yeah, I'd like to be on the committee.
Okay. Any comments? Okay, so the motion would be to have Member Aguiano and Member Hill be on the audit committee. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I move that Member Aguiano and Member Hill be members of the audit committee.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
Member Block, thank you so much. Please vote. Ayes. All right. Appointing two non-voting Board of Education representatives to the CBOC committee, the Measure O committee. This is a position that it is a non-voting position, but the representatives would be attending the meetings just from an informational standpoint. I believe, who's on that at this time?
Who else is on
Member
it?
Block, who?
I've been the only one who's been.
Oh, just one.
Yeah, we all received a message from a member of the public who feels that this is an oversight committee, and that even as a non-voting member, that person felt it wasn't appropriate that we have someone be as a board member and a member of the community, we're always welcome to attend these meetings. I would like to see if the board has a feeling one way or the other about whether we even need this position.
I wonder if we might change the wording to liaison rather than representative to further clarify that this person is not part of the oversight committee, but rather someone who's simply there to observe and to listen, but is not a member of the committee itself. Do you think that would satisfy the concern?
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of why we specifically wrote in non-voting, but we could just say liaison instead of representative.
And that gives the liaison an opportunity to report back any issues or news from that committee and keeps us informed.
Right. All right, so Member Block is on that committee at this time. Would anyone else like to be on that committee or be a liaison for that committee? We will need to have, I need to bring up that chart. So let me bring up the chart to look at.
Which are you reference? Oh, the one at the end of the meeting?
Yeah, the one that's in the, I'm just wanting to bring up the chart that's there now to say that right now, because we've got that chart in, it's in 16.1, Board of Education Committee Reports, Announcements, Requests, in that section, just to see who's in the positions at this time. Because we will need, at some point, we will need to, which we did not do for the Audit Committee, we need to have an alternate for the audit committee also that we did not take into consideration.
Ms. McDonald, could you please bring up item number 16.1? It has a copy of the chart.
So, Member Block, you're currently on the audit committee as an alternate. In my calculation, we all need to sign up for roughly 4 committee spots, whether it's alternate or representative/liaison. So it's approximately 4 positions each.
I don't mind staying.
Okay. We do need to still vote for that, but perfect.
good.
Thank you for
Thank you.
bringing that up. That's great. All right, so as we look at this then, we can go back and just vote for the alternate for the audit committee as Member Block, if that is, it seems to me that we should go back and just finish that up before we move on. So let's do that. So an alternate for the audit committee, Member Block is willing to do that. Can I get a motion and a second for that, please?
The audit committee you had,
Oh.
maybe I'm misunderstanding. The audit committee you had Anguiano and Hill. Are you changing that?
The alternate.
The alternate,
Oh, the alternate,
the
okay.
alternate. We need to fill the alternate spot as well. So, and Austin is currently the alternate on there. He's fine with staying as alternate.
I nominate Austin Block to be alternate on the audit committee.
Okay,
I second.
all right. So a T and an A, and we'll do another vote. Sorry, give me a minute to, all right, we're gonna start. Just a minute, soon as I push the right button. All right, there we go, thank you. All right, 5 ayes for that. It's kind of overriding a,
I'm sorry, may I ask who made that?
yeah, Aguiano. It was Thomas and Aguiano for the motion and second on that. And it was 5 ayes. All right, now we are down to the CBOC Liaison Committee. We have Member Block, who is on that. And it looks like, Member Thomas, do you want to stay on that, or do you want to relinquish that?
I'm happy to relinquish that.
Okay. I'm happy to join that, and unless someone else. Okay. So I'm happy to join Member Block on that committee, if that is okay with everyone. Could I get a motion for that, for Block and Jones?
I make a motion to nominate both Block and Jones for the CBOC committee.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll second, and since it's just a liaison, we wouldn't really need an alternate, right? Just to clarify.
Yeah, we don't need an alternate since
Okay.
it's liaison.
Great.
Okay,
I'll second.
all right. I will attempt to start the voting, and this thing, it's just. All right, 5 ayes for that. You. Moving on to the 2 Board of Education representatives on the City of Newark NUSD Liaison Committee. Currently, that is Member Hill and myself. Member Hill, do you wish to stay on that?
I'd like to stay on that.
Okay. I'm fine with staying on it unless somebody feels a desire. All right, we do need an alternate for that since it is liaison committee.
I could go ahead and be the alternate for the City of Newark NUSD Liaison Committee.
Okay, thank you. So that would be Member Jones and Member Hill as members and Member Aguiano as a alternate. May I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to nominate Member Jones and Member Hill as the members to the City Liaison Committee with Member Anguiano as the alternate.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And vote. Member Hill? Thank you. All right, we have 5 ayes. Thank you. Of Board of Education representative and an alternate to the MVROP Governing Council.
Actually, you skipped
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, I
LCAP.
skipped LCAP. I apologize. These are non-voting representative to LCAP Advisory Committee. Currently, that is myself and Member Aguiano.
I would like to recommend that we change not voting representative to liaison, as we did previously for the CBOC committee. And with that, I would recommend appointment of, Ms. Jones, did you still want to do that?
Yeah, I can still do that. I'm about to cap out here on committees, but yeah, I can still do a LCAP. Yeah, that's fine. I am good with that, if that's okay with everyone else. And
The one thing I'm noticing is that Member Hill is not, he's only on one other committee so far.
No, 2. He's on 2. Audit and
Oh, that's right.
Liaison.
Okay, I was
audit
looking at the
liaison.
other
So we
screen.
need to have about, think about 4. All right, so who else would like to do the LCAP? They're basically monthly meetings, first Thursday of the month, right? Do we need to take a tabulation on who's on how many? You need to think of taking at least 2 as the representative or liaison, 1 alternate, and at least that at a minimum.
I'd like to continue to fulfill the second year for the LCAP Advisory Committee.
Okay,
And I'm happy to stay as the alternate.
okay.
One thing I just wanted to put out there is, from my understanding, the SELPA and the MVROP committees meet during the workday, and so
3:30.
because like my teaching day goes until 3:26, so my only concern is not being able to do some of the other ones. So I'm happy to step up for one of the ones that we've, like I could step up as the alternate for the LCAP Advisory Committee or something like that. I don't want to not commit to enough because I'm unable to do some of the remaining ones
Right.
due to my work schedule. But like certainly like the district asset management one, I could attend, but I think SELPA and MVROP are both potentially conflicting with,
Yeah, those
with
are
teaching
both,
hours.
they start at 3, both of those meetings start at
If you
3:30.
want to be on the LCAP as the advisory person, I'm happy to drop off.
You want to swap? Okay, sure, that works.
You need to
Thank you.
rescind a vote and take a vote.
Okay,
Wait, did we formally vote on that
we
one
haven't
yet?
formally voted on LCAP yet.
Okay.
I don't think we voted on it yet, right? Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up now. Okay.
Okay, so, I know it really is difficult for some of these. I think maybe it's a good idea to think about which, like, our, the MVROP and SELPA, those are 2 that are 4:30. Those are ones that are much easier for Member Thomas and myself, because,
No, it's 3:30.
I mean, 3:30, because we're not
Is
working.
that What for MVRP?
It's a Thursday at 3:30.
Yeah, and SELPAs are on Tuesdays at 3:30.
3:30.
Do you know if you can zoom into that MVROP? I know that Nancy's not sure about that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, well, it hasn't happened yet.
So what do they do during COVID?
Well, yeah, but we're out of COVID times now. So
Yeah, you
a
have
lot of
new
people
rules.
that
don't-
did COVID then
Sure they're not doing that?
don't Zoom now.
Yeah, I've been there consistently, and no one,
It's in this,
their alternate comes if they can't come.
So because they are a board, just like your board is, they are unable to do the Zoom meetings unless you actually post and do all the different things that you, they're in the same conditions that you are.
Okay, that's fine.
How far away
Is
is your
that
school
something
from
that
the
you
district
could,
office?
you could do with your schedule, get out
I
early?
can't get over there by 3:30.
So
Yeah, it'd be hard for all
Possible
three of
as
the
an
working
alternate.
people.
for you to be, like, take the alternate, or even the alternate at ROP, because that's even closer for you, right?
Oh, I didn't hear.
Well, I was just trying to, I was talking to Austin about his schedule, and could he be the alternate for ROP? Because that's closer, it's a 3:30 meeting, and as an alternate, it's closer to his school site. He could make it, maybe he'd be 5 minutes late, but he could still make the meeting if he was needed, if you weren't there. So as the alternate, I'm just, as we work through these, I'm like, well, maybe we need to have some discussion before we, like, really take
Yeah.
concrete votes.
I have thoroughly enjoyed being on the ROP board. It's extremely well run, the organization. They've got a lot of grant funding from the state. That's added to the equipment and training and 8 personnel that they've been able to hire. So it's really a wonderful organization that's supporting our students, and we haven't had to increase our pledge to them for about 10 years, or maybe 8 to 10 years. How much would you like to be on that committee?
I mean, I'm certainly open to it. I just don't want to be causing problems if I'm arriving late. I mean, if I'm out at 3:26 and the meeting starts at 3:30, like there's traffic getting out of the parking lot and kids crossing the street, and it would be 3:45 by the time I get
Is
there.
that your school?
No, it's not
No.
at my school site.
How long would it take you to drive there?
My bet is 15 minutes.
6 minutes?
15.
15.
15 with traffic.
15 minutes, and you don't get out till 3:30?
3:26.
3:20.
I know, you gotta love those.
Takes maybe a minute to
3:26.
get to my car.
Have you ever missed a meeting?
No, I've never missed a meeting, but I'm thinking of transitioning, and it just seems to me that I wouldn't mind stepping down if, and who's to say they wouldn't change their meetings to 3:45 to meet your schedule? Can we hold this one up till the next meeting, and I will try to find out if they can do that, in which case I would recommend that you take over ROP, even as much as I love it, for next year.
I'm open to that.
I most certainly
Superintendent
can't speak on behalf of the ROP, of course, but I think you could still probably do your appointment so that it stays on schedule and that you're ready to step into position for January. And then we can talk about the alternate maybe at a future meeting.
Okay, I'm happy to continue.
Because I don't know when their next meeting is in January, but it might be before our meeting. I just want to make sure that you're not going to miss a meeting, or if they need something done and they need a board member or something catastrophic happens.
Well, it could be as easy as my resigning and or becoming the alternate, and Austin becoming the member after discussing this
I just want to make
with
sure
ROP.
they have coverage. That would be my
Yeah.
biggest concern on their behalf.
Yeah.
Should something happen, or should there be a catastrophic issue, that they
Yeah.
have a board member that's appointed right now. Does that make sense?
Right, okay, so I would accept that nomination.
Through the board, just a clarification on behalf of, is it quarterly that you would meet?
No, monthly.
Oh, monthly.
Yeah, ROP is monthly.
But the SELPA does meet quarterly.
SELP is quarterly. And I will stay on that this year. I could stay on that because it is quarterly.
So we
And it
haven't
is
voted.
3:30, which is tough.
So we haven't voted on the LCAP one yet, right?
No, I
No.
know.
So-
I need to just
okay.
kind of lining people
Yeah,
up
for sure, for
before
sure.
we
Yeah, yeah.
take our votes.
Definitely. So were we comfortable with Board Member Jones and Anguiano then, and then me serving as the alternate for the LCAP Advisory Committee?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I have 4.
We
We
didn't
have
vote
not
for
I
the
know, we
India.
haven't voted for that. I'm trying to also think about, which ones are possible, which committees are possible for those that do work in terms of their time. I mean, the liaison committee is something that works with your guys' schedules. The CBOC does, LCAP does. Those work with you guys all being, in education in your work hours. So just being cognizant of, of trying to make it work with all of that without having, so I think,
President Jones, what I've got jotted down right now is for your LCAP, we have you and Member Anguiano.
Yes.
And Member Block is the alternate. You're still waiting for a
Correct.
motion in a second.
yeah, okay, hang on. I had Hill as, so I'm gonna do Block for that. Okay, so a motion for LCAP of Jones, Aguiano, and Block as an alternate. Could I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion on the LCAP Advisory Committee for Catherine Jones and Gabriel Anguiano, myself, and alternate being Member Block.
Okay, and I will second that. Okay, 5 ayes. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I tried to see that they were all, are you a yes? Okay. Aguiano was a verbal yes on that. All right, so now we are down to ROP, Thomas staying as the member, Block as the alternate. Could I have a motion for that?
No, I don't
please?
think we
Oh, I'm
were.
sorry, am I moving too fast?
I think we're holding off on the alternate, are you not?
Yeah, I also just had a question too. If I work for another district that works with ROP, is that an issue? That if I'm an employee at Fremont Unified School
No.
District and a board member at Newark?
Oh,
Well,
We all are.
I don't.
We're all
I-
part of ROP.
Yeah, but the difference
Right,
is-
right. But if I'm
hang
with
on.
2 different school districts, is what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
believe that's a conflict of
Is
interest
that
to
not
you.
considered?
I don't think it is. I'm trying to think of my past boards, and I would say no, but it is a great legal question to probably ask ROP because you actually do work in one. You're right. There may be something there. I gotta say, I can't think of a JPA that I've been involved with before where one of the members was actually a employee of that district. So it'd be just like on this board.
Yeah,
You could not be employed to be on this board.
right.
But I see what you're saying. I think we would need to get that legal
Yeah,
question
that's
addressed. I
probably
don't know
a-
the answer.
Yeah. Okay, so then I'm going to withdraw
All right.
myself in contention from this one.
Well, can we wait and get clarification?
Let's just vote for, let's vote for the member at this time, and we will add an alternate on the January 20th meeting.
Okay,
Can we
Because
do
you're
that?
going to check to see, A, if a time could be adjusted should you not be able to attend.
right.
Yeah,
Which more than likely they can adjust the time by a half hour if they needed to. And it would probably need to be a half hour, not 15 minutes, just
yeah.
in all likelihood. And then I think we need to find out whether or not there is a conflict of interest if Member Block
Works for Fremont.
works for one of the entities. Can he actually still serve on the board? It's a great question.
Yeah,
I don't know the answer.
all right.
And question that I have is, I would actually like to serve on that board. The challenge is where I'm working. But I guess my question, if we're gonna go back and talk to MVROP, I think the question should be, well, because by the way, not only am I a teacher, but I'm a CTE teacher.
Yeah,
And so if you're interested in actually having representation from CTE teachers, would you consider changing the time that your board meets to like maybe 5?
or have a
Or have a virtual, have the ability to
option.
appear virtually?
So I think that would be a conversation that Member Thomas would need to take back, that this is making it very difficult for some people to be able to serve. And if the time had been adjusted later, perhaps it's a conversation you can have with MVROP.
Yeah, if you do appoint me this evening, I will definitely look into both those options and happily resign and have the board appoint either you or Austin to that position, if we can work it out. Okay.
All right, so Member Thomas, you are only down for one committee at this time. Do you know that? You're only on ROP.
We have more coming.
Yeah.
I know she's on one more, but that's still only two.
But, you know, being a president is a big job.
I know.
And so I don't mind not being on things.
Yeah, but I don't want to be on 6, which is what it's looking like. I refuse. I will not. I will not do that. I was on 4 and president and made it work. So I'm not going to take on anything else. I'm definitely not going to take on anything else.
So should we vote on that, MVROP?
So ROP, Member Thomas on ROP for, and we'll vote on the alternate on January 20th. May I have a motion, please?
I move that you appoint Nancy Thomas as Mission Valley ROP.
All right, I will second. And vote, please. All right.
I'm just going to, given about this conflict situation, maybe that even prevents me from voting on this, so I'm just abstaining out of an abundance of caution, but I thoroughly support Member Thomas's continuation on MVRP.
Okay.
I don't think that has anything at all to do with the vote.
All right. So for, I'm sorry. SELPA, down to me again. So I will.
So just to confirm that vote, it's 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 who
One
abstained,
abstention.
which was blocked.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
wanna make
sorry,
sure we
I didn't read
report it
that
out.
Yes. I wrote it down, but I didn't read it out.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I had it out there for the record.
And I've got lots of notes here too. All right, so 1011 is appointment of Board of Education rep and alternate for the Regional Policy Board, SELPA. Do I have any nominations other than myself? I mean, I'm doing it, it is a 3:30 meeting. So the guys are kind of out on that. So, all
I
right.
nominate,
President Jones, I want just clarification on the times, quarterly or is it monthly?
It's
for the SELPA.
quarterly.
And at 3:30? Do we know the days?
They typically
Yes,
meet,
Yeah,
yes,
we do know the dates. They're actually in the agenda, I believe.
yes, they were.
I don't have it in front of me.
Could you
Go up to
go
10.11,
into 10 point, is it 10.7, please, Anna?
be 10.11, I believe.
Sorry, yeah, 11. Date should be in there.
Be March 10th and June 9th
March 10th and June 9th.
for the remainder of this year.
Just checking my calendar.
Yeah.
I think the Austin has a conflict. Doesn't he work there? I think he could have a conflict. It's a great question.
Is it local, President Jones? Is it Hayward or where exactly is it?
It's
It's not exactly easy for you. It's the Fremont
district office.
district office. So, I mean, even from our house, because we live so close, it's a good 15 to 20 minutes. So you'd have your commute plus getting that 20 minutes across town. I'll stay on the committee this year. Are you willing to be the alternate? And I really do make every attempt to get to those meetings. Would you be willing to be alternate?
I'll accept to be the alternate for the SELPA.
Okay, great. That
The
would
other,
be-
the other thing I changed at our last meeting is we actually changed the bylaws as a recommendation. So one of the things is it's not going to require as much of a quorum as it had in the past. So that's a change that just recently occurred. So it gives a little bit more leeway in the event that somebody else can't make it, as long as there's one active member, whether it be from district office staff or from a board member from our district, to be able to represent us.
Yeah. And
It's a little
that,
bit- it's a little
that,
different
but
than it has
that would not go in until till the 26, 27 school year. So for these 2 meetings, for sure, you know, and then we can move forward after that. Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the position, the nomination for the SELPA with Member Aguiano as the alternate. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Member Thomas, and a vote. Okay, and that's 5. All right, thank you, everyone. All right, of the committees is the District Asset Management Advisory Committee.
I'd like to stay on that.
Okay,
I'm happy to jump in there since I'm only the representative on one. I'm an alternate for a couple of others, but I'm happy to jump in here to make sure I'm, doing my fair share.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
all right, thank you, Member Block. All right, so do I have a motion for Members Hill and Block to be on the District Asset Management Advisory Committee?
I'll make a motion to appoint both Member Hill and Member Block for the Board of Education Representatives for a District Asset Management Advisory.
Great, and I will second that. Thank you so much. Please vote. Five ayes.
Do we no longer need the teacher induction?
No longer need
No,
that
we don't.
particular,
Yeah.
we're now with the county and have a different system that we're in. Thank you for asking.
All right.
And to Members Hill for joining the asset. Thank you very much. We will be spending lots of quality time together this coming spring. Got lots to do.
All right. Moving forward to the superintendent report. Superintendent Picard?
Thank you. Are you gonna put that up there for me? Next slide, please. So on Saturday, as was shared earlier by our teacher, by Rachel with our Teachers Association, the board met and you selected leadership and associates for the upcoming superintendent search. I see a little typo there, we'll fix that. And we will be developing a web page to be able to help keep the community informed regarding timelines and process that the board will be taking. Your next step coming up will be to be able to meet with the search firm consultants. They would like to be able to meet with each of you next week and have a time to discuss your ideas, and then also to confirm some dates that they'll be suggesting to you as to when interviews would take place. The appointments are already kind of listed already out on the other agenda that you did with the board approval dates for upcoming board meetings. So that's already there because you have to make an appointment at a regular meeting, not at a special meeting when you make your appointment. So, and then they'll be working on a community survey, which will be shared with families in the new year to gather their feedback and to create job descriptions. And that will also include both our internal and external community. Next slide. A little bit about the HVAC update. You already heard a great report from Travis this evening. We're super excited that Kennedy is pretty much so finished and that they've moved on to middle school, and you could see that they made a great jump over the last 2 days with working on the middle school. So we're moving right along with timelines. They'll be identifying the next school, and we'll be doing walkthroughs at that school to be able to prepare for it as well coming up. And so we'll keep you posted on updates with HVAC. Next slide. Alameda County has invited Newark Unified School District and all districts in Alameda County to participate in a one-time funding grant that supports our work through June of 2026 this year. The total funding is for a little over $28,000. It has 2 priorities: working on mental health support systems There are some grants that are retiring, so this will give us a chance to be able to work together on some plans. And then also the work that we are doing with our fee-based Medicare programs, medical billing programs that are sitting out there. So we'll be doing some work on that as well. I just want to let you know that we have put our letter of intent in, and we make you aware of that. This is, like I said, one-time money, and staff would have been working on these plans anyway, so this is a little extra assistance to be able to help us. Next slide. California dashboard release. Last week, we received countywide results for our 24-25 California dashboard. We want to thank the Alameda County Office of Education for their continued partnership and support. They had some very exciting news to be able to share. If we go on to the next slide. I'm going to ask Karen, Ms. Allard, to discuss a little bit about some of the great things that we heard at that particular meeting as it relates to the dashboard, some areas that we also need to work on. Ms. Allard?
In explaining the slide, you can see on the left-hand side lists all of the districts throughout Alameda County. If you go over to the third column, you can see that the green bars or the red bars are the growth that those districts had last year in regards to English language arts. I circled Newark Unified so that you can see throughout the county throughout Alameda County, we had the highest percentage of growth in English language arts with 14.7 compared to other districts, as you can see the results there in that particular column. The yellow represents the color that we are now on the dashboard. So if you go to the top right-hand corner where you see the little dial, we were orange and we moved into the yellow with those results. Next slide. For math, we also showed growth, not as much, but we're right in there with the other districts as well, where we didn't go down. So I circled again for Newark Unified, we went from 4.8, and again, we went from orange to the color of yellow. Next slide, please. This slide is rather exciting. This is about regarding students who increased their score on the annual LPAC assessment, in which they went up at least one or more levels. So for us, we went up 7.2 points, which was quite higher than any other districts. Several of the districts went lower, as you can see there by the red bars. We went up by 7.2, around 3 or 4 of the highest districts who were able to do that. And again, in regards to the colors on the dashboard, we were now in yellow. So moved up in that as well. Next slide. For our graduation rate, we went up by 4.1. We maintained the color of green, but again, showing growth in regards to this particular indicator on the dashboard. And for our suspensions rates, we were the district who showed the most change in regards to our suspension rates, lowering our suspensions by 1.5%, the most for any district in Alameda County as well. And we increased to the green level, and I believe we were in the orange before. And those are the results.
Can we get a copy of these slides?
Yeah, no problem.
You'll send them by email?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Actually, be in your next board memo that we put out to you. We'll add it there.
The next what?
The board memo that we send to you, the biweekly memo that we've been sending. We'll send it there and put. We can add the slides. We can do an attachment. We can link it.
To you, as well as some other slides that the county provided to us.
Looking at 2026 summer school dates, special education expanded learning, we are looking at June 2nd through June 30th this year to be able to do our summer school dates. We are going to continue at the high school with a 10-day program with the first semester in the morning and second semester in the afternoon. And you can kind of see what the weeks look like as we outline them there. And the graduation will be on the evening of June 16th. So please be sure to save the date. It's a great time for families who whose children had to put in a little extra time to be able to get over that important hurdle in life, which is to, be ready for society and have their high school diploma. So we heard from some really great things from students and how that extra time at the high school really helped them to be able to continue to move on with their life. And instead of stopping and having it as an obstacle, they had opportunity. So we hope to see you on June 16th. And then we'll be putting out information to our employees about the opening opportunities to be able to be employed for summer school. And so we're doing that early this year. Yay. Good news from some school sites. Lincoln Elementary last week had their annual Winter Wonderland event. Several sites recently held educational assemblies and family movie nights. Coyote Hills PTO hosting their holiday shop after school for scholars to shop for families. And students are being recognized and celebrated in monthly assemblies. Bridgepoint has a canned food drive contest going on right now. And so that's some of the great things that are happening right now in our schools. Next slide. I just wanted, on behalf of all of us from the leadership team here at the district office, we want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season. And remind everyone there's no school December 22nd through January 5th. And school resumes on Tuesday, January 6th. Is that correct? Doesn't sound. Some of our schools are in on the 5th, yes? Is that right?
School resumes on the 6th because the 5th is a professional learning day,
day.
or it is a staff work day for secondary.
Okay, got it. And here's some pictures of some of our kids out there and some of the fun things that are happening. So as you can see, there's lots of celebrations and activities happening that keep our kids engaged. So we're excited for them. And that concludes my report.
So the first question was, so the web page. So this is going to be connected to our website, right? So this isn't going to
Correct.
be like a separate website.
No, not a separate website. It's connected to our webpage. Thank you for clarifying
Okay.
that. You'll just have a section, a tab that will let people know what's going on with the superintendent search. And
Okay.
your search firm should be helping to update that.
Okay, great. And then the second question was related to the grant. Could you go move to that one? So one thing, I mean, and I've kind of talked about this before, but I think that I'm always very leery of grants. And the reason why is because I don't think we ever really fully understand the total costs associated with administering the grants. And so I would appreciate that when you come back, that we not only talk about the money that we're going to get, but what's the manpower, or human power, or whatever you want to say. What's the effort involved in administrating? Because I think that sometimes if we look at certain things, we may find that we're actually losing money rather than making money. So
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that it's in this case.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But what I am saying is that I think that as we go forward with any grant, there should be a total cost picture, right? So we say, okay, here's the money that's coming in, but here's how much we're going to actually have to invest to manage it.
Yeah, so if I can just share with you, we're already investing and managing it anyways. So the fact that we're getting some additional funds to help us do this work is really great because we were already allocating staff time to be able to do both these things.
Right, and I'm not talking just about the staff time of doing it, but then there's all these sort of like little tick and tie things that you have to do that like never get accounted for, and especially since we're now in an environment where we've had continued layoffs, right? We have limited resources, and so I think that we have to be very judicious in the grants that we take on because otherwise, either we don't administer them. I mean, and we saw that with the CalShape grant, where like literally right, and so those are things that I think that we ought to be taking, looking at carefully and making sure that we have the total cost picture, and then also we have a clearly identified person of who's the quarterback, who's accountable for running this, right? So, okay, thank you, and that's it.
Fair, we agree. Member Hill, we're on the same page with you on that.
Sorry, my hand wasn't up. I apologize. That's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
You mentioned some of the things that are happening, but I understand that tomorrow night at the I think it's tomorrow night. Anyway, at the city council meeting, they are recognizing some of our athletes. Can you tell us what that's about?
Yeah, they'll be recognizing our middle school female athletes for soccer tomorrow evening, and Ms. Tricia Kelly will be there, and I'll be there to join them. They've got some other activities that are happening immediately afterwards, and so mayor's assured me that they will be first up on the agenda. But we're excited that they're being recognized for their efforts in winning their league.
I think it's very heartening, and we should be very appreciative of the mayor and the city council for their ongoing recognition of our students and our programs. It's heartening.
The
So-
city's been an outstanding partner with us. They really have tried to make, I think, special efforts to be able to work with us,
You're right.
and vice versa.
I would like to echo that, Member Thomas, in regards to the recognizing our youth, promoting health within the community, especially that we do have our partners here at the city, that they do a wonderful job recognizing not only the students, but also the parents and the coaches. And that really brings out a spotlight in the community as well, and they take that really with a lot of pride. They work with it. The students are really, I've been to a few that they presented, a couple of the community sports here, and it's just really fulfilling for the community to see these type of, acknowledgements that are occurring. So thank you. I did want to go back to the new grant opportunity with the 28,000. For the grant itself, there's two priorities. Just knowing a bit, having a little bit more of background information on the mental health support, on how many caseloads are per school, have an idea of how we're distributing the money within the school sites, and just to have a little bit more of where the monies are really being allocated, so we could go ahead and have in the future. And I know this, the presentation, it's something that we received the total funding, but like Member Hill went ahead and mentioned, to have a little bit more information that entails how is this particular grant being distributed throughout the whole district. Thank you.
Again, we've not been awarded the grant yet. This is just us submitting a letter of intent to want to join it.
Do we know if other districts are also going after the grant?
All districts in Alameda County were invited to participate. They gave us an allocation based on the size of our district as to what we would receive. The LEA is the county office.
Yeah.
So kind of like ROP, like ROP is like the LEA,
Right.
and then they disperse it out between the three different organizations.
Well, I'd like to echo what Member Hill mentioned, because oftentimes these grants have requirements that go with them that take up staff resources and staff time. And so I look forward to hearing more information about whether or not that requires work on our side that we aren't already doing for ourselves. No.
No. 11.2?
Yeah.
So 11.2 is just a letter from Office of Education regarding their monitoring findings for the Williams settlement. And that moves us into our new business, and we've got a presentation for our first interim by Ms. Nancy Chen. While Nancy's getting set up, I'm just gonna go
Okay. Good evening, President Catherine Jones, and honored trustees, and dear executive cabinet members. My name is Nancy Chen, fiscal director for Newark Unified School District. So tonight, I will be presenting the 25-26 first interim financial report. So as required by the state, the first interim is one of the three major financial reports. District must file before December 15 each year. So the other two reports are the second interim report and an auditor actual report. So the first interim report reflects the updated financial information since the adoption of budget in June and the unaudited actuals in September. We have continued reviewing spending patterns and adjusting the updated state assumptions. So overall, our assumptions continue to support right-sizing efforts and the budget reduction strategies needed over the next 2 years. So this slide outlines what first interim covers. So we will walk through the comparison to the approved budget, our multi-year projections, and the first interim report, what's our fiscal alert we are monitoring. The unrestricted general fund are required to support special education, and RRMA is a routine restricted maintenance account. So because this contribution account roughly around 20% of our total expenditure. So this is one of the key areas we will continue to monitor closely. So here you will see our beginning fund balance. It's 31.6 million in our first interim report, as reflected in same as unrestricted, unaudited actual report. Categorical program revenues and expenditures, including federal, state, and local funding, have been updated to reflect the most current allocation carryover amount and corresponding budget cost adjustments. So you will see adjusted LCFF revenue is now 59.1 million. And the salary have been updated for step column, benefit cost, and updated based on the current rate. So these changes will continue to impact our ongoing budget. Here it's our ADA. Our funding based on the 3-year ADA average calculated using the FICMAC calculator. So we have prior year ADA, current year ADA, and the 3-year ADA average. We choose the greater one for our funded ADA. Then based on funded ADA, calculate our total LCFF revenue. So in 25-26, we have total funded ADA 4,489, which is 215 fewer than the previous fiscal year, 24-25. So this slide just shows the enrollment and the ADA trends over time. As you can see, both enrollment and the ADA have been steadily declining. Over the past 10 years, so exactly 10 years here, the district has lost 1,602 enrollment, which is around 27% decline. During the same period, ADA has decreased by 1,687, about 29%. So this declining trends directly and negatively affect the financial outlook in our multi-year projections and contribute to the structural challenges we anticipate in coming year. So, yeah, so here is the unduplicated pupil percentage. So you will see our enrollment, unduplicated pupil counts, and the percentage of 5 years. So UPP plays a significant role in LCFF funding, particularly in determining supplemental funding and concentration grant amount. So compared to the prior fiscal year, enrollment has decreased by 255 students. But the unduplicated pupil counts has fallen by 352. So this has created a considerable financial pressure on our district. So to help mitigate this impact, school side are encouraged to work closely with families to ensure school nutrition program forms are completed and submitted. So here it's our unrestricted general fund revenue. So you will see the unrestricted general fund revenue changes. The revenue adjustments primarily reflect the updated LCFF projections, as well as the revised state and the local revenue estimates. So with this kind of updates, the total unrestricted revenue are now projected 61.3 million, an increase about 753,000 compared to adopted budget. So here it's our total expenditure for unrestricted portion. Unrestricted expenditure, including staffing and benefit and contribution and other program needs. So with all recent updates, you will see our total unrestricted expenditure and contribution remain roughly unchanged at about 17 million. So here, this slide shows the total revenue across both unrestricted and restricted program. So several statutory changes and grant adjustments affect our combined revenue position this year, resulting in the total revenue increases about 3 million. So we are happy to share we were able to get additional 526K for our TK program because the TK rate increased from 3,077 to 5,545. And another good news is we have a new funding called Student Support and Professional Development Discretionary Block Grant. We have 1 million, but the funding available for expenditures through 2029. So we have 4 years to spend this funding. And the other small portion related ELOP and learning recovery, before last year, we thought that we don't have any funding for learning recovery, but actually we restored. We got the funding around 294K, and another one is the Title III. Before we thought we don't have any Title III funding, but we got it. And here it's the slide shows the total expenditures for both unrestricted and restricted programs, as well as the combined amounts. So as you can see, the certificate salary decreased by 1.9 million. Service expense increased 2.5 million. So this shift reflects a budget move from the certificate staffing to contract services for our special aid programs. The budget for book and the service, book and the supply also increased by around 3.5 million. This increase reflects 25-26 carryover that has now been placed under book and supply category. So here it's our ending fund balance. So this slide presents our projected ending fund balance and the first interim. So you will see this reflect the updated expenditure, revenue, restricted commitments, and or no adjustments as of October 31st. During the most recent restricted commitments change, our general fund ending fund balance has increased to 13 million compared to 7.2 at the time of the adopted budget, but similar than unaudited actual, almost the same. So here is our assumptions for MYP, multi-year projection. So this slide summarizes the assumptions we used for MYP. So you will see we updated enrollment ADA projections, LCFF COLA, and the restricted program revenue, employee cost, or this area. So these assumptions reflect most recent information available and drive the financial outlook shown in next few slides. Here, this page just focus on specifically the revenue-related assumptions in the MYP, including COLA, ADA, UPP, and LCFF dollars per ADA. So the detailed information shown on this slide. And the next one, this slide outlines our key expenditure assumptions, including the retirement rate increases, unemployment in insurance rates, projected cost for supply and services, and the routine restricted maintenance allowance, which is 3% of the total expenditure. So these assumptions shape our overall expenditure outlook in multi-year projection. So here is the 4 multi-year projection. So the trend clearly shows that without the structural adjustments, ongoing expenditure will continue to exceed ongoing revenue, gradually but constantly depleting our reserves over the next several years. So based on current assumptions, we remain stable for current fiscal year and the fiscal year 26-27. However, we are projecting a deficit about 12 million in 27-28. So based on the MYP, our reserves are projected to fall below the state required 3% minimum in fiscal year 27-28, raising concerns about a serious financial difficulty for our school district. So here it's I listed some items which not including this in our first interim report, but we need to share this information with board. I think board should aware of them. So the first item is the NTA collective bargaining agreement. The total financial impact is about 3 million for 3 years. This will be incorporated in our future financial report. The other one is related to AB 218, revived liability. This is called a self-funding plan. AB 218 reopened the statute of limitations for childhood sexual assault cases, resulting in the new claims for historical coverage years. As a result, our excess liability provider SELF faces a funding deficit for program years 1986 to 2008. So our school district share of assessment number 4 is 556K. So the district will pay in the 2 installment over 2 years. So this impact will also reflected in the future financial reports. So if the first interim report, including AB 218 and our NTA salary adjustment, the reserve for fiscal year 26-27 will be only 1.87%, which less than the minimum 3% requirement. And the third year, 27-28, total reserve will be negative 14.34%. So here, our analysis shows that unduplicated pupil percentage, means UPP, has a significant impact on LCFF revenue. So for our district, if we raising the percentage from current 53% back to previous level of 48%, which is same as the second interim last year, 24-25, could generate about 1 million in addition LCFF revenue over 3 years. So you can see the detail, what's the impact for each school year. So supporting efforts that help family complete school nutrition program forms and strengthen students' encouragement can directly support our funding and improve this metric. So Tracy and our executive cabinet member are working on the budget reduction and strategic savings plan. We'll share more later, right? Maybe including the detail of vacancy saving, classroom resizing, and other related areas. So I want to sincerely thank our fiscal service team and business staff and the district personnel for their dedication in preparing this first interim report. And to board and the community, thank you for your attention and for your continued support. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. I have a few questions. So, Member Thomas?
Yes, thank you for that report. Obviously, you and the staff have put in a lot of time and effort. Could we go back to the ADA and enrollment chart?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this goes through 2025-26. It would be helpful, I think, to have that going out with the multi-year projections. So what is it that you're seeing in the multi-year projections? So the two things I keep looking for is that we are increasing our attendance and therefore decreasing the difference between our enrollment and our ADA, and what are we doing to increase our attendance so that we get more revenue from the state? So that's the one of the things I'd like to see. And another thing that I'd like to have you answer is the question of qualified versus positive certification. And do we only certify at these 3 interim reports? Because the fact that we're qualified kind of snuck up on me. I didn't anticipate we'd be qualified and that we'd be in so much trouble in the 3rd year out.
The qualify means we have the 3rd year negative, not meet the 3% minimum requirement. That's why we are qualified status.
Right, but I mean, we didn't anticipate that, or
We did anticipate
do we
that.
only provide qualified or not qualified or positive when we do the interim reports? We don't do that when we do the 3-year projections for our budget?
We do. When we do any of our budget reports, we would be looking at those. So like when you adopted your budget, you had whether or not it would be positive, qualified, or negative.
So at our budget, it was positive, and now it's qualified.
No, I don't. Third year out, I have to go back and go look at my budget presentation back in. Let me move forward there just a little bit. In order to be able to correct now between the first and second and then your future adopted budget, you definitely want to be able to adjust for that third year and start making cost savings adjustments and start showing that. That's going to be really important. That's part of our budget reduction plan, what's coming up, right? So as we move into January and we start looking at, for instance, vacancies and closing out our vacancies, that savings, you might recall that in the past, I've kept like a savings line that we've been watching to make sure that we are saving enough money to be able to help us in our future years out. So based on all of our commitments and based on our revenues and things that are happening, our projection right now is that we would be qualified unless we go off and make substantial changes that will help support our budget and right-size our budget the correct way to make it qualified.
So do you anticipate we will have plans by the second interim that will take us out of qualified?
I don't know if it will fully take us out of it. I think it will get us there maybe halfway. I think it's going to take you 2 years to be able to solve for that third year out. So although I think you look good for this year and I think you look good for next year, it's that third year out that's concerning. That third year out is always concerning for a lot of boards that are in the same situation where we are. We've got declining enrollment. We're not getting enough ADA coming in.
So is Fund 17 what's keeping us out of qualified for next year? So we really are going into the last little bit of reserves that we have
We are.
to just show that we're not qualified next year, which to me puts a lot of pressure on us to make changes now and not wait so that we don't take away all of our...
That pressure is definitely there on the school district and definitely on the school administration to be able to bring to the board and to the community lots of different savings things that we should be able to do to be able to make those adjustments.
Yeah, I remember when our Fund 17 reserves and the predecessor, I think Fund 53 reserves were upwards of $12 million, and now we have spent that down in too few years. Thank you.
Member Hill.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Appreciate all of the work you've done in putting this together. Could we go back to slide 10, please? Okay. Okay, so revenues. So one thing, and this, and just so you know, Ms. Chen, this precedes your time here, and I think, possibly even my time here. But I found our reporting to be very frustrating. And one of the reasons why is we never look backwards. And so how can we look at and evaluate what we did in just the most recent year and a couple years back, and then be able to say, are we on the right course? So I apologize for putting you on the spot, and I don't have my numbers here in front of me. But if we look at revenue, and we look at all the sources, so we're saying that our adopted budget for this year is $75 million in revenue, right? Okay, so what was our adopted budget, and what were our actuals for the prior year for total revenue?
So why we have the 3 million difference related to the LCFF revenue, because you will see the major difference because it's a restricted portion. One of the reasons is the 1 million new funding. Another one, it's the TK rate increased. So we have additional 526K.
Okay, I'm not sure if if my question is clear.
I'm not so sure this is the slide that you want. I think I know where you're going.
So what I want to know is, so we said our adopted revenue, when we adopted the budget in the summer, total revenue is going to be 75.5. Okay, now at first interim, we're saying it's going up to 78.6, right? So but what I want to know is that for the year that we just ended, what was our total revenue?
You mean unaudited actual?
Correct.
Let me see.
80-something. 80.
I have the number for the adopted 24-25. We projected 77 million in revenue when we
Okay.
adopted the 24-25 budget. I'm trying to find the unaudited actuals.
I didn't bring that book with me. So when we adopted our budget in June, there were some things that the state said that we probably would not be receiving funds on, and the federal government also said we would not be receiving some funds on. These are the adjustments that have been made since the time that they've actually adopted their budgets.
I understand.
Okay,
I
and they bring it
understand.
back in.
I understand, right? So, but let's just assume that what Member Block is saying is, so our adopted budget was 77 million. I don't remember what the unaudited actuals were, but it was probably somewhere around that.
79.8.
So it was greater.
Yes.
Okay, so, okay, so we said 79 that we just ended with. Revenue 79, is that right?
I'm looking at unaudited actuals 24-25. Sorry, my mic's not on. I'm looking at unaudited actuals 24-25. Total revenue looking like 79.8 million, if I'm reading it correctly.
Okay, but now in our adopted budget, right, so we're saying, initially, we said at the end of the summer, revenue's gonna drop all the way down to 75. Okay, but as Superintendent, as you're indicating, there were some unknowns at that point. There were some funny things going on with the federal government, but now we've readjusted, so 78.6. Okay, so that's what we're saying at this point. So if we look at it from a delta, and I apologize for spitballing, but I don't have the exact numbers memorized here, but if I'm gonna rely on what Member Block says, revenue's down about $1 million, right? From year over year. Does that sound about right?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So revenue's down $1 million. So can we go to the next slide? Okay, so now my question, again, I don't have this, maybe Member Block has it, but when we look at total expenditures, so our adopted budget said 85.7, we're now saying 89.6. So for our unaudited actuals, because that's the most important thing, how much did we actually spend last year? Unaudited actuals in terms of total expenditures.
I've got 82.1.
Okay, so this is what I find incredibly frustrating, right? Is that, so past this prologue, so if we spent 82 million, that was our expenditures from last year, unaudited actuals. So, and we've been, every single year that I've been here, it's the sky is falling and oh my God, and we got to cut, right? And we got these deficits. But so my question is if revenue is only going down by 1 million, and our expenditure was 82 million, how is it, number one, in our adopted budget going up by 3 million? And then how is it now at first interim going up by 7 million? If we've been cutting, how are our expenditures going up? Right? So because what you just said, Member Block, is that unaudited actuals total expenditures 82 million. Okay? So if we've been doing all of this cutting, how are expenditures going up? Right? And so this is where I think that we get loosey-goosey, and what I would appreciate, and again, I'm not throwing darts, because I think that some of this is our templates, and our templates have existed this way forever, and I really think that when our new CBO comes on board, that we need to blow these up. Because quite frankly, they don't tell us where we've been, but past this prologue. Because what we find out is we come up with all of these projections and everybody gets freaked out, and then that drives all this whole big cycle of cutting and all this other stuff. And then we actually, by the time we get into unaudited actuals at the end of every year, it's really not that much different from what the prior year was. But one thing that I do see that's troubling here is that if we're cutting, how is expense going up? Okay, I could see that our total delta could be going up if we had revenue declining significantly, but we only have revenue going down by $1 million, right? And so how is it that we got expenditures going up initially, $3 million, and now like potentially $7 million? So, and then what I'm really worried about is going to potentially these forecasts are going to be driving a whole bunch of activity in February, and these are like people's like real lives, right? If we're talking about cutting staff, and we're ending up cutting people based on faulty projections, right? Shame on us. But the one thing that the one last question I have here is, if you look at your overall numbers, the thing that's really driving the year 3 change is the contribution number. So can we go look at page 16?
Before you go there, may I just make a comment, please? So if you go back and look at those pages for just a second, you are going to have a lot more expenses going up. The cost of everything is substantially higher than what the COLA is. Substantially. The cost of your insurance, the cost of your utilities, the cost of doing business with any vendor that's sitting out there. Your overall costs have been driven up substantially higher than what our COLA is. And so you are going to have that imbalance of what has to happen, and you're going to have to sit there and make adjustments for what happens with those additional things. We have a lot of one-time expense that's going into our special education. Nearly 20% of our budget is being covered by our regular budget, by our regular
Right.
revenues coming in. I mean, so as you're looking at those things, it's detrimental to the overall health of the budget itself. So you have to be able to balance based on what you know in real dollars.
Right, but that's what I'm driving at, right? And that's why I'm saying that looking at a time series is very helpful, because every year we hear that costs are going up, but what we saw last year, right, was that we had these really big projections, and even in second interim, we were like $7 million over our adopted budget, but by the time we got to unaudited actuals, it came down substantially. So I think that there's fear that costs are going up, but when we see the actual numbers coming in, they're not going up as much as we think. And where it gets frustrating is that we need to zero in on, if there are areas where costs are going up, we need to know them precisely. And we need to know the categories, and then we need to know, okay, how much are we projecting? And then what are the mitigation plans? And that then kind of drives me to this contribution number, because, so if we look at page 16, okay, so what's really driving, what's causing us to go wonky here is that those contribution numbers, right?
Correct.
So this year, 16 million, then 17 million. So what are in those contribution numbers?
Yeah, that's just special education. We would have to do a whole separate workshop just on that particular piece of it. But I think it would be valuable for us to sit there and take a look at what those it's primarily your special education.
Okay, so this is my point, right? Is rather than, rather than kind of boiling the ocean and saying, oh my God, the sky is falling and blah, blah, blah. If we know that there are certain things that are driving our deltas, that's where we need to focus our efforts, right? And so,
Exactly.
and so it shouldn't be, well, you know what, we need to cut staff by X amount, or we need to cut back on these programs. I mean, if the real issue is special ed, then we need to zero in and say, well, why is this so big? And is this something that we can move? And one question I have, and I spoke with Member Thomas about it briefly, is I understand that Fremont Unified is potentially bringing FICMAC in to actually look at their special ed expenditures. And I think it might be good for us to do it too. And so if this is the driver of our qualified budgets in the out years, that's where we should really start to focus and see if we can potentially move those numbers. So because it seems to me that that's your bogey, right? I mean, if it's the contribution and whatever's in it, and if because otherwise, if you take that contribution out, we don't have a problem, right? So that negative contribution is driving these extreme out-year projections. So let's understand what it is, and let's put some concrete plans in place to tackle it.
So let me just share a
Can I
couple.
piggyback off of what Member Hill said?
Go ahead.
Could we go to the file that shows the revenues, revenue assumptions?
No.
There. Yeah, I would hope that I would be able to look at this list and find the 3 million. So we don't know what statutory LCFF increase was. There should be $1 attached to that. The TK, I understand, that's 1 million. But then when we get to the 1 million in student support and professional development block grant, that's over 4 years. So it's really not 1 million, it's 1/4 of 1 million for this year. So, and then the others don't add up to the 3 million. And I think that would help to have a list that adds up to the 3 million, much as the expense side adds up to the deficit that we're projecting.
It still books into your current first interim. And so part of what Member Hill said is that these forms are forms that come right out of our system, right? That we actually have to sit there and put hard numbers to, which is what we have to report back to all of you. In saying that, the monies that we receive actually do come into this first interim. You could blow the entire discretionary block grant all this coming year. If you wanted to completely focus in on education and professional development, you could put it all into institutes that are happening all in this year. We're trying to spread out over 4 years and try to get some mileage out of that as we continue to work on educational plans. That combined with LCAP. So that's something that we're doing internally.
Yeah, I would maintain that we can't spend $1 million in 1 year and do justice to that.
I agree, and that's
So
what I'm saying.
That's
what
why
I'm
I
saying.
divided by 4.
But either way, it still hits your books, and so you have to be able to put it into your books, and then you carry it out in your outlying years. So in your multiple year projection, you're going to see that carryover. Was really only going to spend, let's say, a couple $100,000 this year, and then.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to have a plan over those 4 years? So maybe at least you think about what you're going to, how you're going to spend that.
We do have a plan, Ms. Thomas, and so I think if you talk to Ms. Allard, and I think you've already been able to see from the results that we've been doing, we are working on plans to be able to support our educational goals. And you have seen a number of outcomes as we continue to work through that. The first was buying some curriculum and then training people on the curriculum. It's still ongoing.
My whole point was being able to break that 3 million down into the chunks that add up to 3 million, that's all.
Okay. And I think we can provide you with a better report on that, if that would help.
Member Block?
I just wanted to point out that it seems like a big portion of the change that we're seeing too is the increased spending on books and supplies for necessary curriculum updates as well. And it's a huge change. It's like a $3 million increase, which hopefully can then come down in future years. But that seems to also be a major discrepancy from the original budget to the first interim, is that increase in books and supplies from, I think it was like less than 3 million to 6 million right now. So I think that's just another thing that, it's a necessary expense to make sure our students have high quality curriculum, but that does seem to have a lot of explanatory power there too.
Yeah, I have one example can explain a little bit more for your question. So for example, we have restricted fund balance for education effectiveness. We have 285,000 in our fund balance. But this year, it's our we have to spend this one within this fiscal year. So June 30 is our deadline. So we have to use this money, we have to spend this money this fiscal year. That's why we fully budget 285. But before, no expenditure budget. But this year, first interim, we have this budget. So we have several resource, same situation, like the art music instructional material grant. We have to book like 453,000. And we have California School Health EL Plumbing in efficiency program funding around 900,000. So all this kind of thing we have to book and we have to spend this year. That's why more budget in first interim.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much for everything. All right, we are at the personnel report.
Before we move on there, I just
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
sorry.
make one
Go
other
ahead.
comment with regards to special education. So one of the things that we've been working on very closely with Ed Services, HR, and with special education is that we have been qualified as having a disproportionate number of students that we are serving in special education. It's allowing us to start to do that deeper dive that you were talking about, Member Hill. We're also very concerned about it. There's also something called the maintenance of effort. And that actually has some barriers for all school districts because you have to continue to maintain what you spend in prior years. And there's, even if you have a drop in what your ADA and enrollment are, you still have to continue spending at this flatline level. Additionally, some of the services have gone really crazy. And we've actually identified some areas that we feel that there needs to be stronger legislation that doesn't allow for certain entities to come in and basically kind of rip off school districts or make it difficult for us to hire the much needed staff that we need because they're paying a much higher dollar amount and people are going to them just to be able to get the money up front, even though a big chunk of it is actually going to the overall entity. We're all dealing with the same thing. Our SELPA has been having the same conversations. It's happening across the entire state. It was one of the big conversations at CASBO. And so we're all dealing with the same thing. For sure, we are out of balance. I believe we are more out of balance in Alameda County than are most of our other school districts. So I think we are spending more. I think people, sometimes I think, choose to come to a school district because we provide the additional services that they want for their children that they may not be able to get in some other places. We are working on some strategies to also make sure that if we can serve our students here, we're able to do that. You've heard us talk about that a little bit, or maybe we'll offer a program here and we're going to ask our neighboring districts to join us so that we can provide those specialized services. One was in dyslexia that you recently heard about. So we are moving forward and we are starting to dive into what are those costs that are associated. And I don't want you to think that we aren't doing anything, that we haven't been looking at it, because definitely when you've got something that is a 20% contribution, you need to do a dive into it. And so I greatly respect where you're going to with it. I look forward to having more conversations with you. And it may result in a subcommittee, perhaps even of a couple board members joining us as we sit there and do that dive so that you have some better understanding.
Thank you for that clarification. So with regards to the legislative changes that you said like might relieve some of the financial pressures on districts, is that the kind of thing that would need to come from the state level or from the national level?
Both.
And both, okay.
It depends on what it is, right? Because we also receive, some funds that come from the federal government, although that's been a little bit more controversial this year than it hasn't been in past years. But also the state's been helping to augment some things. So like when you're looking at, like who these providers are and like some of the, I'll give you an example. We have got contracts out there that are across multiple districts. It's like a stationary contract that's kind of sitting out there with certain entities to be able to provide certain services. And we have no say-so in being able to negotiate that. That can become very concerning, right? So it makes it very difficult when that's what everybody's willing to pay, and now they're going to pay a little bit more because they want to make sure they have a first crack at having that. It continues to push that bar up even higher. What we're asking for is perhaps some thresholds or perhaps some timelines that would then make sure that the people really come back into our workforce, which is where we want them, is in our workforce where we can sit there and attract and retain them, support them, so that our students can do some things. I thought one of the most interesting things I heard most recently, and I've shared this with several of you on the side, as we've done some of our one-to-one meetings. I went to a training with a high school, and I went to a special education session. It was really interesting to hear someone talk to us about special education across the entire country and how many students ever exit special education. Any idea what that looks like?
Not many.
Yeah, less than 1% ever exit special education. That means those kids are labeled for the rest of their life with certain conditions. And we really need to think about that. Do we want kids labeled when they're little? And how long does that carry with them? And what does that do to their self-esteem and believing that they can actually do some of the things? Or have we provided enough resources to be able to help them overcome some challenges? And then also, are we taking some of our tier 2 and tier 3 lack of interventions for behavior and suddenly qualifying students for special education? Those are things that we need to do a deeper dive in across all of our districts to say, do we have enough support systems to be able to really help our students so that we're not misidentifying them?
Do you get the sense that the state might act relatively soon on any of these things?
I think there's a lot more pressure because these percentages have grown so quickly since the pandemic. So for years, they kind of stayed stagnant. Like if you were at 10 or 11% 6 years ago, that was considered a lot. But many of us are approaching well over 15%. And like us, we're almost 20% now. You've got to be concerned because it's impacting the rest of the educational system for us to provide the quality services that should be spread across for all children. And so when you look at those numbers and the fact that they've increased so rapidly, you've got to look at what is the system doing as we're doing the qualifications, and then what are we doing for the actual services, and what are we doing for pre-intervention that needs to happen with it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we are on to personnel report 13.2. Would anyone like to pull that at all? All right, may I have a motion to approve the personnel report?
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel report.
Thank you, and a second? I'll second. And we're going to go to a vote. Member Hill?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. All right, we have 5 ayes on that. Thank you.
So much for your presentation.
Yeah,
and your work
thank
on
you
this.
so much.
Nancy.
Really appreciate it.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for all your work. Thank you. Okay, do we need to take a vote on the first interim?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Better
All
go
right,
back.
well, then let's just do that right now. All right, may I have a motion to approve the first interim budget report?
I make a motion to approve the first interim report.
Thank you, and a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, and a vote on that, please. And we have 5. All right. Be sure to thank her for jogging our memory on that one.
She's
Okay,
a little nervous. I think she's like,
wait. I know, I even had it down as an action item and I missed it.
me too.
Um,
I started and everything.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely losing my head ability to think. Okay, consent agenda and non-personnel items. Anyone like to pull anything? Groovy. All right, so may I have a motion to approve the non-personnel items 14.2 through 14.13?
I move that we approve 14.2 through 14.13.
Thank
I
you.
second.
And a second, and we'll vote.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Aguiano. All right, and that's 5. Full kit and caboodle, thank you so much. All right. We are now down to student expulsions for a continued suspension enforcement of student expulsion number E2425.1. The board would like to take staff recommendation on this one.
I so move.
All right. Member Thomas motions. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. And a vote. Thank you. Ayes for continued expansion, enforcement of student expulsion, case number 2425.04. The board would like to take recommendation for that. Well, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve item 15.2 and accept the staff recommendation.
Thank you. A second, please. I'll second, and we'll take a vote. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Member Aguado, could you give me a verbal for that, please? Sorry, I hit it too quickly. I thought it was okay. May I have a verbal on this from you, Member Aguado? Yes. Thank you. All right, that was a yes, 5 yes. 5 yeses on that one. A reentry and completion for student expulsion number E2425.08. The board would like to take the staff recommendation. May I have a motion, please?
I move approval of the staff recommendation for case E2425-08.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Member Hill. And a vote, please. All right, I see 5 yellows. Right. Thank you. That's 5 to approve that. 15.4, confirmation from a prior district and a rehabilitation plan on case number E2526.01. Staff recommendation, we will take that as well on that one. So could I have a motion, please? I'll motion.
I move.
Oh, sorry. Can I have a second, Member Hill?
So you moved?
Yeah.
Yeah, I second.
That's all right. Thank you so much. And we'll do a vote. Member Block? Thank you. All right, 5. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, we are on to Board of Education Committee reports, announcements, requests, debrief, and discussion. Member Hill, shall I start? Have anything?
Sure. Yeah, so number one, I want to thank all of the members of our NUSD community for all the hard work that they've been doing over the past year, and it's showing, it's coming to fruition, right? And I thought it was wonderful, the slides that Ms. Allard presented, and I just think back a couple of years ago where we didn't even have any goals, right? So, and the fact that we now actually have goals and we're actually making progress on those goals, and we're actually outperforming the county in many areas is really remarkable. And it's a testimony to everybody. And again, it's everybody, right? So I just want to congratulate, and that's our core mission, right? I mean, that's what we're about. So I just want to thank everybody, and let's just keep it going. And I also want to, again, we've had some instability, but we've been working hard in rectifying it, and superintendent's been working hard in rectifying it, and we've started to bring in staff, and so I think that we have a good team at this point in place, and so I think that we're really teed up for the next year, and I'm really excited about the new chief business officer that's going to be joining us. I'm sure that I'm probably the only person happier than me is the superintendent, so that she can now go back to one job versus more than one. And I think she's a really strong candidate, and I think that she'll bring enormous value. So, want to show thanks for that, and then also am excited about the process that we're about to go through with our superintendent search. And I think we're at a point now where rather than reacting, we are allowed to be proactive, and I think that we have a really good case to make, and I think that we can really demonstrate that we're a district on the move, and that the best and brightest should be coming here. So I want to show thanks for that. And then one request, and I know that this was related to, I don't know if it was an email or text from the superintendent, but the search firm is wanting to meet with us, but given all the things that are happening at the end of the year, it's just a little bit chaotic. And so, I'm going to defer to the superintendent and obviously the board about what the next steps are, but to the degree that maybe if they need feedback, maybe they can do it with us on a one-on-one basis, or I don't know if remote with the whole board is possible, but at least on a one-on-one basis and provide enough direction so that they can get rolling. And I think that there's a lot of steps that they can probably do on their own at this point, particularly as it relates to the community. And then the other good thing is that since we've used them before and it wasn't that long ago, I think that they have greater familiarity, so they should be able to get a fast start. So just to the degree that we don't have to add more meetings to the calendar unless absolutely necessary, I'd like to show my support for that. But again, I'll defer to the superintendent of the board. And that's it. Thank you.
Member Thomas?
Well, I just would love to applaud staff for the fine progress we've made, especially with the dashboard. I'm just thrilled, absolutely thrilled. And it speaks to the planning you've done and the execution, and to you, Superintendent Beckar, you're bringing in some great new hires, and they're going to add so much stability that we need going forward. So congratulations on the fine work you've done in recruiting, and the rest of you for working hard as well to make sure we integrate our new people into the team. I'm just wishing everyone a really wonderful holiday season, and just looking forward to next year, off to a great start. I'd like to applaud Ms. Jones for her wonderful running of the leadership and running of the meetings, and that's going to be a hard act for me to follow. I hope you'll be at my elbow. I don't know how we're going to do the switching of the chairs, but I'll do my best to figure this system out. And anyway, thanks everyone for all the hard work you've done, and I think everything's going to be up and to the right.
I will be happy to help you. Member Aguiano.
Just thank you to everyone, and which you guys all echoed, all the members today mentioned, really just highlighting the positive outcomes that we've been having. It's just demonstrating to our neighbors that we're competing, and we're looking for individuals that are wanting to come and be a part of the newer community and the family here. Also, just the positive news that we have with the sports, the learning curve that we've been raising, we're raising the bar. And I really appreciate, my hats off to the cabinet, also Superintendent Beckar, along with individuals, our teachers, our counselors, our students. We have to make sure that we continue to grow and grow with a positive mindset. Thank you. Happy holidays to everyone. Really appreciate you guys, and Happy New Year's. Thank you.
Member Block?
Yeah, I would just echo everyone's appreciations. Thank you to Superintendent Vakar, the whole executive cabinet, everybody at the district office, teachers, staff, families, students. Wishing you guys good luck on finals. It's a lot of work the next little bit, but it's worth it. And 2 weeks of winter break are up ahead. And just wishing everyone a wonderful holiday season.
I too would really like to thank staff for all the work that they have put in, the long hours, the diligence to really turning the district around to a place where we are becoming much more student and staff oriented and really focusing on student growth by supporting staff in the best that we can and with curriculum and everything. And Superintendent Vakar, it has been an absolute privilege working with you this year as president. I have learned so much from you. I've learned and grown a lot in this position. And it hasn't been easy, but, when I look back and I really reflect, it has been a good year overall. There have been some real lumps and bumps, but it has been a good year, overall as president. But that really attributes to having this board to work with and staff and cabinet that comes and sits here with us on these long, long nights. But, the work that you put in is very much appreciated. And Rachel, thank you for your, leadership with NTA.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, thank you for this opportunity and the privilege of serving as president this year, and thank all of you for your support, and wish our community happy holidays, and really enjoy the time with family and friends and treasure those moments. So with that, I'll pass it off to Superintendent Vakar.
Thank you. So I told staff I thought we might get out of here about 9:30, so I've got about 20 minutes to go. With that said, I gotta tell you something. Have you ever seen Karen do the happy dance? Says, I gotta tell you, it's better. It's way better. It's so much better. So, when we were at CSBA, I get this. We probably shouldn't, but I will tell you, if she could have shouted from Alameda County when the slides went up to let me know just how well we have done, I heard that message loud and clear, and the happiness in her voice and the excitement that she had for the work that's been going on here. So I want to thank you personally, Ms. Allard, for the work that you've led, the teams that you led. Probably some of the most difficult thing is to go off and start having conversations. You changed curriculum this year. People had to look at doing their assessments and looking at their data. The data conversations are happening out there, and I'm so grateful for our teachers taking a hard look at things, making recommendations and suggestions. I hope what we get from this is kind of like a snowball effect, right? Like where they want to be able to tell us more and be more participatory and helping us as we navigate through what can we do together to continue to make those improvements. And I'm really excited about that part of what we're doing. But I will tell you, just the happiness and joy from getting those messages from Karen when she saw the data. I just wish you all could have heard the excitement in the message that I received, because, to get to see yourself up there as being on the leaderboard is pretty exciting in front of your colleagues. And I will tell you, sometimes the discussion around who Newark is not always in the most favorable light. And people are always like, oh, it's Newark. And it's changed. In 2 years, we have worked hard to change that conversation. And it's only been 2 years since I've been here. We were in deficit spending. It took hard work to go off and change it. Maybe it seems like there's like this past of like, where were we at? Where did we end up at? Remember, we had infusions of one-time monies or things that are sitting out there with it. These data reports that we use come from the state. They can be difficult to understand and read and understand what they mean. Quite frankly, the budget's not real. Let me just tell you that right now. Let me repeat that. The budget's not real. It's only as good as our crystal ball and radar and what we listen to. And after we create the budget, then we chase some money for the rest of the year and hope what we said we were going to do for a budget, we actually find that money. So in many ways, what the state gives us to play with and what the federal government gives us to play with is make-believe money that we constantly chase. And I want to repeat that one more time. The budget's not real. The budget is only as real as what we come up with and what our best guess is. In the meantime, we chase it and we adjust it. And it really feels uncomfortable, and it probably feels even more uncomfortable for you and uncomfortable for those that are watching it and trying to understand, how come that doesn't match up with what you did here? And how come it doesn't match up with what you did there? So the budget last year wasn't real either. It was all based on assumptions, folks. So let me put that out there, and let's just be really real about this, because the state has yet to give us a real budget every year that we get to work with. We have to make it up based on the assumptions of what they tell us is going to make up our budget sections, and then what our carryovers are that come with it. We do have to continue to navigate savings and try to still continue to live within our means. There will be some difficult decisions that happen this coming spring as we go off and navigate that. We saw a reduction in students this year of over 250 students. We're going to have to sit there and have those discussions. With saying that, though, I will tell you the district has done an extraordinary job of right-sizing their budget so that you can make the decisions and be in the driver's seat that you're in today, the one that you guys just all sat there and talked about, the data that we're starting to look at that's happening for our students, what we're starting to be able to do to navigate and how we move forward, and to have the great conversations. Can we dive into special education and see what we can do to help support our students and still live within our means? Wow, that's really powerful. We couldn't have had that conversation really 2 years ago, but we get to kind of go back and have those conversations now. And those will be great conversations for you to have as you do your interviews with the new superintendent out there, to find out from them, what are they thinking? What do they know? What have they studied about Newark Unified School District? And if there are people that are thinking about coming here, study us. Look at what we're doing, because we're doing a really great job and a really hard job in a very difficult time, a time of declining enrollment, a time where funding oftentimes is unstable and sometimes doesn't even exist. Remember, Title III didn't exist. We got Title III funds back, so we put that back in. But we had to shift people, right? Because we knew it was important to keep our bilingual aides. We didn't want to give them up. That was the last thing I want to do. I know it helps our students. You know it helps our students. But those are some of the difficulty things of what we've had to do. Trying to continue to right size. Many of you have taken resolutions in prior years before I even got here about what does that look like to try to right size, to try to keep the schools as even as possible so that you wouldn't have to sit there and do school closures. You worked really hard to try to stabilize as much as you can with the tools and resources that you have, and you've done a great job. So that goes back to you as well, because you are the ones that are helping lead this discussion, listening to what the public has to say, listening to what internal staff has to say, listening to what leadership has to say, listening to what the state is navigating out there and telling you through the variety of meetings that you guys give up hundreds of hours on every single year to sit there and read, learn, go to conferences, go to workshops, talk with local people about how it's impacting them. 3 of you are in other school districts. You already know what your school districts are dealing with too. Probably all of them are dealing with some declining enrollment in some capacity. Difficult, right? Really difficult. Funding's different. Funding at all 3 of your school districts and this district is different. We all receive different dollars. It's not the same magic thing. And I know that can be really complicated to understand and hear, and wonder like how do you balance all of that, like when you're looking at your first interim, and as we go into the second interim, what we need to do. We wanted to call out some of the things that weren't in the first interim to you that you'll see in the second interim, because we have to sit there and navigate that. We thought that was important to share that information. I like the idea of seeing if we can't maybe come a little closer and try to balance out that $3 million for you, Ms. Thomas. We'll do our best to try to provide that to you. Again, if we kind of get the things as they come in, we're earmarking them in there, and then we have to come up with the plans that go out there. One of the best planners out here that we've got in our school district is Ms. Allard. She's great at planning, and she's great at planning for what that funding is going to be going towards, and it's going towards our kids. And you've got more funding going towards kids and support for kids and teachers than we've had in a long time here in this district, and I'm really proud of that. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to our community. Thank you to our NTA leadership coming in. It feels good. The district every single day is solving really good problems at a really high level, and it feels right. The district is a very different place than it was 2 years ago when I came. And that's because of the work that was made up, not just one person, but many people being able to help navigate that. I believe the future is great here for Newark. I think the viability and the survivorship of Newark is right on track. I don't think we're the district that people know us to be, and I bet you there were a lot of conversations in the room when we were on the top of that leaderboard. I would love to have been a fly on the wall and seen the look on some people's faces when they saw Newark move forward. So congratulations and thank you very much. The work's not done. We have lots of hard work to still continue doing over the next year. We've got plans that we're making to be able to help the new superintendent be able to step into it so they can continue leadership, continue working on adjusting those plans with all of you. And again, but I just want to thank everyone for your time and your commitment to making Newark in our school district really the best for our community and our kids. So thank you.
So I apologize in my comments. I forgot to say to everybody, and I might need some help from Member Anguiano, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad y Feliz Nuevo Año. Is that right? Okay. Thank you.
Great. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 9:22.
I have to clean up.